Hi, today is day 5 of our cruise. So we're back in Miami. We just spent the last 5 days on Virgin Voyages, Valiant Lady, and want to give you like a quick video synopsis of what we liked and didn't like. I will have a longer video that will actually have video of the things that we liked and what we didn't like. Now, I'd say 95% of the stuff I say we liked and didn't like, other people on the ship liked and didn't like based off of conversations that we had. And every time I talked to somebody and got a conversation going, I asked them what they liked and didn't like about the ship so that I could give you as much fair and balanced information as possible and not just David and Heesian's opinion. So let's get started. How about we get started with the cabin since we're in the cabin?
I love the cabin.
She's got so many words. So the cabin's awesome because, well, the layout's awesome. They have a legit normal sized toilet. They have a shower that's got a glass wall. It's got a rain head and a wand, and it's probably about 1.5 feet bigger than the other cruise lines.
Yes.
It's like the whole width of the bathroom instead of just tucked into a corner. The technology in this room is awesome as well. You have like a little iPad. It's not an iPad, but it's a tablet, and you can control the thermostat from it. You can control the lighting on it. They even have some built-in moods. If you push the mood, like let's just say you push the mood for get it on, it will take all the lights off and like the white light behind me and then a couple other lights in here, it'll turn it red. Now if it could just play some Barry White, would be all right. And you can control the TV from it as well. The balcony is pretty much a standard balcony. I went into the hammock. I'm probably going to get a bunch of hate for this, but I wasn't impressed with the hammock. It wasn't very comfortable. I went on it without a shirt on, and it just, to me, it wasn't soft. And I was on it probably, 30 seconds maybe?
Yeah.
I went on it long, and I was like, nah, nope. So
a lot of people love it.
A lot of people love it, and that's cool. But my main thing for coming on a ship was to go hang in a hammock while I'm on the ocean, and I was like, no. So let's start from the top and work our way down. What do you think about the top decks? Like 16, like the Perch 16, 15, like the pool areas.
I like all the beds and what do you call those? Is it just a bed?
Well, are you talking about so around the pools, they have a bunch of loungers, but they also have like these day bed type things, but without the coverings.
Yeah.
And then on the back of the ship, like the whole entire curve of the ship is just beds. And then they have a bunch of other little pocket beds around there as well. So the seating selection for sun tanning around here is the most ample I've ever seen on any cruise ship. Now they are dumb in that they have all that for free. And then they have like 10 of these little daybed areas that they have walled off, so they're private, but they have a daybed, or they have a daybed and like a little couch in them. And I looked at the price the first day we were here. They wanted $500 for the day. Well, no, day 2 there was 2 of them that were reserved that I saw that the little book to sign on. But I looked 2 days ago, and I guess they were like, nah, nobody's renting them, so let's drop the price. So they dropped the one to $250 that had the couch in it, and to $200 for the one that didn't have it in there. But still, I wouldn't pay $200 for what I got for free right outside, and just as good, if not better. I'm not a rock star. I'm not nobody famous, so I don't need to be walled off. But they have a lot of fitness stuff. The videos that I saw, it made it look like there was a lot more fitness stuff than what there really was. Made it just seem like the outdoor fitness area was a little bit bigger, but it's still 100% better than any other cruise line. I will let you know that those punching bags, they are not heavy bags. So if you are a boxer, or at least use a punching bag, they are not heavy bags. When I hit it, I expected it to be a heavy bag. It was not a heavy bag. So just be prepared. So you probably won't need boxing gloves. They don't have any gloves that I could see that you could wear. If you want to wear some bag gloves, you can. If you're going to be on it for a while, I'd probably just bring your wraps, and then that way you're not busting your knuckles up. But Um, I didn't see too many people outside using it. I saw like people like me that would just go punch it to punch it doing it. And then the teeter totter, I like the teeter totter, and then I didn't like the teeter totter because it always has its ups and it always has its downs. Dad joke. All right, so the gym's pretty well equipped. Uh, I say the gym on the Harmony of the Seas was probably bigger than the gym here, but it's also a bigger ship. They did have a lot of cardio equipment selection as well. Basically, it takes the front of the ship. On the right hand side is all the gym equipment. On the left hand side, as it goes around the ship, is all the cardio equipment. They did have a cycle. Well, they had a spin classroom, and then there's another little gym that they do the hit classes and the 80s or VHS yoga. So they score like I give them a 10 out of 10 for like the layout. The pool's a little bit smaller considering this is an adult only pool or ship, so the pool is a little bit smaller. Now I'm gonna give them. Well, I'll talk about cleanliness at the end, but so let's talk about. We'll go to deck 7 and 6. So deck 7 and 6, where the restaurants were, where the social club was, the bars. Let's back up a little bit. We'll go back to 15. Deck 15. So on deck 15, you've got the galley. Yeah. Okay, and then you got Gun Bay. So Gun Bay, just look at our food video. You'll see what we think about Gun Bay. And then the galley area, it's pretty cool because it goes around the whole area, so you can come in either left or right. The selection of food was okay. That's where you'll get your bento boxes and stuff. It could be worse, but it could be a whole lot better. Every day it's the same food. So it's no different than a buffet on a regular cruise ship. So when they say we don't have a buffet, blah, blah, yes, everything's made fresh right there for you, which is awesome. But it's the same stuff every day. So it's the same kind of burgers. It's the same kind of bagels. It's the same kind of salad. It's the same kind of desserts. Like every day it was like the same dessert. The only thing that changed was the color of the macaroon. It's gluten free. Yeah, it's the same noodles. It's the same. Everything is the same. So it's no different than a buffet, other than they make the food right in front of you instead of you serving yourself. In my opinion. They got the little bento boxes, but every day it's the same bento box. It's the same sushi in the bento box. It's the same fruit in the bento box. It's the same trail mix in the bento box. You see where I'm going? So if you're going to be on this ship for a long time, I would much rather have a buffet that has a bigger selection and that has a main dining hall that I can, they have the same ship menu and then a daily change menu, but we talk more about that in the food video as well. So let's go down now to decks 7 and 6, where and we'll include deck 5 too, where guest services and the spa's at as well. The spa
was
on
nice.
On point. $79. You get 3 hours in there into like their, you get the hot, warm, and cold plunge. You get the mud room. You get the salt room. You get the wet sauna. So the steam room, you get the dry sauna, and they have all these little slabs that have marble on it. She just stayed on there the whole time.
It was warm.
It was warm when you didn't have to lay on a towel, and it took a while for that heat to get through the towel. So that's the one thing I didn't like. But for $79 for 3 hours on a cruise ship, you got to do it. You're not gonna, you're the best. Guest services, they have 2 kiosks for people, whereas most cruise lines have a big guest service desk. 2. So when we got on the ship, the line was really long. Yes. It went down and around the elevators and stuff like that. So hopefully you don't have any issues, because they legit had 2 stations for people to work at. There's an ATM right by guest services. There's one ATM in the casino, so that's the only places you can get money. So let's go talk about deck 6. So the record studio. Or the records, like I saw these videos and they're like, oh, they have a record store. Oh. They do not have a record store. They have like a record section, and it really had a bad selection in it. It was legitimately about, I'd say, no more than 6 feet wide and just a stack of records. Yeah. It was not I was not impressed at all. The tattoo, Squid Ink. That was pretty impressive.
That
Never
was-
been on a
Yeah.
cruise ship.
And we saw people getting tattoos.
Yeah, which blows my mind because if you're on a cruise ship and you're not going to go like into the water, or because why would you get a tattoo unless it's your last day on the ship because you can't go into the water? Ask me how I know. But it was pretty cool to have that. They had a good selection. They had several tattoo artists in there.
Yeah.
So,
You
and
can
there's
even get
always
body
somebody in
piercing.
there. Yeah, and you can do body piercing too. Yeah, the sunglass place, we didn't go into that. They got all the regular shops, purses, watches, jewelry.
The alcohol section was very small though.
Yes. Like it was legit. It was the smallest liquor. Like Walmart has a bigger selection of liquor
Yeah.
than the duty free on here. I would say it was about the size of our cabin.
Yeah, that's why I
Right.
keep looking.
That's what you're looking at. It's
Yeah.
probably the size of our cabin. So not a very good selection. However, just so you know, if you like Hennessy Pure White, it was cheaper on the ship than it was in the duty free in Cozumel.
Yes.
And there's no duty free at Bimini, so there's nothing there. So if you like Hennessy Pure White, make sure you get it on the ship versus going into Cozumel and getting it because it was about $20 cheaper.
Yeah.
So what else? Lick Me Till I Scream. I like that. I went over there a few times. They got a different assortment of cones. They got different assortments of ice cream. Some of them are the same. Some of them change. They do have gluten-free options. They do have vegan options.
There's a lot more vegan options.
They have a lot more. Yeah, the ship does a lot for vegan options. They do a lot for gluten-free options and vegetarian options, but they don't do a very good job with a mix of gluten and vegan. So if you're lactose intolerant and you can't have gluten, they do have options here. They do work with you for that. However, it's a little bit more challenging to try and find it because you're gonna be like, yes, no, yeah, no, yeah, ooh, and that's what it's gonna be like. But they do, like, the staff is very knowledgeable on what is and isn't. And then one thing I liked about it is when we asked the servers and they weren't 100% sure, they didn't just come up with an answer. They were like, let me go talk to the chef. So that was cool too. The draft house is a nice little tucked in the way corner bar. There's a lot of these little corner bars. The problem with this ship is everything's friggin' hidden. Like there's just like pocket rooms here, pocket rooms there, instead of just an open concept. So whoever designed this ship must love the 1970s and 1980s because that's when all these houses had just these little pocket rooms in there. That's the most aggravating thing. Like I'd go by and walk by the bathrooms because it's like this little pocket door like off on the side. You couldn't even find it.
It was kind of hard.
But they have, yeah, they like in the back of the ship on by the dock. There's a bar back there. I didn't even know. There's a juice bar back there too. I happened to find it because I was doing a video for you. But like if I wasn't doing a video of the ship, I wouldn't have found it. So there's just a lot of weird choppiness on this ship. So the other thing, and you'll see this in the video too, they have a lot of choke points. So you're always going to run into people, especially in the galley, because the galley, they weren't thinking very much about, seating lines and then people walking around. So if you're looking at the galley from the front and you got the 24-hour breakfast to your left, they got this stupid like popsicle and bubbles cart, and it's at an angle, and then you've got about 6 feet between that angle of that cart and the corner of where the 24-hour breakfast starts.
Yeah.
So when you have a line there, you got people blocking that. And then right next to the bubbles cart is tables. So when the chairs are pulled out, you have even less room. On the right hand side of the deck 7, right by Lick Me Till I Scream, I measured it out, and at the table with the chair in, you had 4.5 steps of mine. So you're 4.5 feet from corner to the table. And when you pulled the chair out to sit into it, you had 3.5 feet. So that's like 1.5 people walking through there. So there's just a lot of choppy chop. But I've got that in the video showing you exactly what I'm talking about. So stuff we're here, watch that video because you're going to see actual video footage of what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and the ice cream line was always long.
Always
so
long.
You have to like go around people like a snake.
Yeah, like a wave. So another thing I didn't like is, since we're talking choppiness and stuff, the hallways are narrow. The ceilings, they feel shorter. They may not be, but maybe because the walls are narrower.
No, I
But
can touch the ceiling.
yeah,
And I normally can't touch the ceiling.
yeah. So the roundabout, it starts on 6 and there's a staircase up to 7. They had a perfect opportunity there to make it to where it was a focal point, a great center point of the ship, and they messed it up. They could have gone from like decks 5 all the way up to like 8 or 9 maybe, or maybe even just stop at 7, go from 5 to 7, have it opened up. They can do, because they always have like activities in there, and people could have been all around that watching down instead of being in a small tight space, because this ship is just a bunch of small spaces. Like the Manor. Manor is a great place to watch venues if you are there for a venue, but every night they throw some event in there, and it's so hot. Like, we didn't even go into it because people were like coming out sweating. They were talking about it's so hot in there, and it's so packed. There's nowhere to sit. It's so loud. But they just try and throw everything into these small little freaking pockets, and it's horrible.
That could have done
Horrible.
a lot of stuff at the pool.
Yeah, well, we're out in the ocean, nice breeze. Why don't we have like they had a 70s and the 80s disco party last night? Why couldn't that be held at the pool? They try and fit everybody on the last night of the ship into the Manor. I don't even know what the capacity is of the Manor. We were there for, it's a ship show, and it's not a big place. Now, it is 2 stories.
But still, it's not that big.
It's not that big. What else? Oh, let's just talk about cleanliness. Okay, I'm going to show you something. All right, you're going to get 2 of these in your room. Dump the water and ask for a new one of these. Why? Because they don't change them out. Okay? Heejin on our first day got one of these, opened up the lid, and found a lipstick print right here on one. So that tells me that they do not have a policy to where they are going to change these out every time they come back to port and get ready for the next cruise. So
yes.
I know they clean the ship. I legitimately saw a guy on his hands and knees with a toothbrush cleaning some spot in the carpet on the staircase. However, the pool, nasty, and I went into that nasty, abysmal pot of DNA to see if I was right or not. So day 2, walking around the track, and I look down into the pool, and I'm like, that water looks nasty. You can't even see people's feet. And I'm like, so the next day we were in Cozumel, went off the ship at like 8, came back at like 10, went into the pool. Because it should have been clean, right? But I looked into the water, you still couldn't see the bottom. So I wasn't sure if it's how they painted or had the pool finished. So I went into it. Couldn't see my feet. There's a big grate in there that I found that I couldn't even see. I'm stepping on it, trying to look for it, couldn't see it. Nasty. They do not drain that pool nightly or even every couple nights. So it was clean after the Scarlet night. So to me, it seems like every 3 or 4 days they dump the water. So get into it early and stay out of it late, or you're just gonna be swimming in a lot of people's DNA. Nasty. I swear they have an employee shortage on this ship. I don't think they have as many employees on the ship as when you Google and find out how many crew they have, because the galley, you always find tables that are dirty that still have trays on it, whereas with most other cruise lines, they got people like looking. They're like, all right, they're moving, are they getting ready to go? And then they hop on it, they clean it, and they pull the stuff off. The social club, the line there is kind of long and slow. Every once in a while they'd have one person working, sometimes they'd have 3. It's just, I don't think that they really have a full crew on here. Either that, or they just have them placed in so many different places that it's not a good use of their manpower. Another thing is most cruise lines have one person taking care of your room. We had 2.
Yeah.
So I don't know why they have 2 people taking care of a cabin. They're not that big.
But they're fast.
Well, they're fast because they're working 2 people. So maybe that's where some of the extra staff is at. But what else do you think about the ship? The embarkation process. It's the start of getting onto the ship. One thing I like about it is that when we got onto the ship, the cabin was ready.
Yes.
They make it to where as soon as you come on the ship, you're not getting on until like 1 o'clock. So your cabin's going to be ready, which is nice. I like these bands that you get because you can just tap on whatever and it counts. So I don't have to go carry my wallet around or worry about a card falling out of my pocket if I don't want to carry my wallet. So I like that.
Yeah.
They let you check in early.
You
Now
can
here's
drop
one
your
thing.
bags off.
Here's one thing that I'm going to give you a tip that nobody told us. So we checked in early because we dropped our bags off around 10 o'clock because that's the soonest you can drop your bags off. Well, then they made us get into this line when we got back for our boarding time of 3:15.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then we had to go through the line to go check in again. So we go check in, and they're like, "Well, you already checked in. You didn't even have to be here." So I'm like, "Well, where did I have to go? Like, when did I have to go?" So who knows? I was already checked in. We could have probably just walked on in because they didn't like after you checked in the check-in line, then you could go embark. So if you already checked in, you might have just been able to get in at like 1 or 2 o'clock and just walked on into security. I don't know. You can give it a shot and let me know what you think.
Free trolley thing.
Yes, the free trolley. I was going to talk about that too. Don't take the free trolley. Don't take the free trolley. So we went to go take the free trolley over to Bayside, and it started to rain, and it was drizzling a little bit. And I was like, "Hey, you want me to order a car?" Like, "Oh no, we've been waiting for a while. The free trolley should be coming here." Then we were there for like almost 40 minutes. And then other people started asking people, "Where do you go?" Security people, like people that work in there. "Where's the free trolley? Where's the free trolley?" We talked to, between the group of us, talked to like 3 or 4 different people and got 3 or 4 different answers.
Yeah.
One of them was like, "Oh, go over to that stop sign over there and wait for the bus." We go get on the bus, and the bus was like, "Oh, I just take people around the port." But because it started raining harder, he said, "Get on in, I'll take you to the next trolley stop." So we get to the next trolley stop, and we're waiting, and it's pouring down rain. I've huddled Heezen. I've got her in front of me, so I'm taking the brunt of the rain, trying to keep her as dry as possible. The trolley pulls up. Everybody's happy. And he's like, "I can fit 2."
Yeah.
There's probably like 40 of us out there. He's like, "I can take 2." So we ended up catching a cab and going in. So if you want to go into Bayside or something like that while you're killing some time, just save yourself some aggravation. Spend the $10 and go take a Lyft or an Uber or something, or a taxi cab. So the taxi was $5 per person to go to Bayside. So 4 of us hopped on in, all wet and nasty, and the cab driver was like $5, and I was like, "All right, cool." So we gave him a 20 and 25 a split. That was probably the best advice I can get for checking in. The debarkation process seems pretty simple. You leave your bags out by 10 o'clock at night, just like every other cruise line, and then you can pick your time to get off. You have to be off the ship by 10:30. So 10:30 is your latest departure time, so you can use that for planning your flight. So our flight's at 1:15, so we're going to get off at 9:30 just so you can just have some not rush time and get over to the airport and kick some tires and light some fires. So I'm not going to light fires, TSA, relax. That's really about it. Just wanted to give you like a quick down and dirty. Is there anything you wanted to...
No, I didn't think it's a good idea where they have the little shops because
the shop
always gets long.
Yeah, the shops is horrible too. Was it High Streets or whatever? The lot of choke points up there too. But we just want to kind of give you a quick run through. Watch our video so you can see exactly what we're talking about. And in there, I talk about what other people, because there's some things there that I like that other people didn't, and vice versa. And I kind of talk about that too, and show you certain things. So it's a little bit more in depth. So if you got the time, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, and you can see it. I'm going to do another video about what you're going to encounter on Virgin Voyages. Is it a swingers cruise? Is it just a bunch of gay people? What is it? Because I keep seeing stuff that's... So I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to tell you what you're going... At least from this cruise. Every cruise is going to be different. You may have a cruise that's like 99% swingers and the other percent gay. I don't know. But I'm going to tell you what we saw from a position of accuracy, not of superiority or minority or hate or love or nothing like that. I'm just going to tell you what we saw. So that if if one is better for you than the other, then you know. And if one's not as good for you as the other, then you know, and you can plan your trip accordingly. I'm going to go on that, or I'm not going to go on that. But there's some interesting stuff that goes on the ship, including getting married. But anyway, I may or may not tell you that story because when I heard what was going on, I was like,
Yeah.
what did he just say? But anyway, I'll say that for another day. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time on that next trip.